You have KB going so far, and then it's good against the one hero that they would have paired naturally with the Phoenix, which is Void. And I know PL's really good against Morphling, and I would also consider it pretty good against Shadow Demon, but I think DK and Elder Titan are really annoying for this hero. Any AoE just crap on the ground generally for PL is quite annoying to play around. So I don't love this PL pick as much as, like, late game it's going to be amazing, but I'm wondering DK is going to free farm. Morphling's going to have a pretty good lane because he matches up freely against Mars. I feel like the map just might close really quickly on Extreme, and that's what I'm always concerned about when I see PL.
That's why you're going to need the XM hero to open up the map. I feel like if they can just get this...
What are you thinking?
Let's think of XM heroes. I mean, honestly, Viper wouldn't be bad here.
What?
Viper would not be bad here versus a DK.
Yeah, it would be nice, yeah.
And that's just the means to, like, have the strong hero that your supports can play around. Like, you just have this Viper standing his ground, so then Mars can come set up for a good arena. You have this Sunray behind to protect him. You have the Moonlight Shadow, which will also be another tool. Another thing that I wanted to mention about the Morphling is that also he has really good steals. Like, if he morphs into Murano or Phoenix, he gets the repositioning tools. Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of mobility tools for him that are just going to make him even more of a nuisance in these team fights. And Spear is great to steal as well. Yeah, heroes that you can morph into, cast their spells in a matter of like 1 second, and then morph back are always good options, and these are all 4 good options in that regard.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Viper. You also got the disarm later on. You can dive on them. Pretty good. I do think that Extreme Gaming, once again, team fight-wise, Purge, they got it covered, so looking strong once more.
Yeah, they do, I suppose. Mars ulti, Phoenix ulti kind of covers a lot of bases there. Moonlight Shadow to set up kills. And PL just needs to keep doing annoying things, throw little spears and disengage. They ban out the Pudge, which could have been a decent mid solution transition or an offlaner to deal with the PL, but they go for a Storm instead. It's going to be another way to set up kills. They could do Storm into Arrow or Arena into Storm follow-up, so that gives them a lot better gank pressure on the map, because PL does take a lot of time to catch up, and they would have really struggled with damage without a high damage mid.
Yeah, I guess I'm a bit concerned about Storm in the sense that they could just move DK bottom now, or mid, I mean, for Larl, and then give like another free farm matchup against PL, so you technically could have 3 winning lanes if Team Spirit want to go that direction. Yeah, they do. So, or no, they left DK off lane. Okay.
What are you thinking?
I like the Storm a lot. I think it's great, because I was looking at the sniper for XG. I was like, what if they just get Storm? There aren't really reliable stuns besides the DK Dragon Tail. But then I'm like, that applies to XG as well. So now you're playing against this Shadow Demon and this ET who don't really have a means to defend themselves versus a Storm Orchid. And Orchid is probably the best item of this patch, and Storm exploits that very well. So I'm surprised we haven't seen that much Storms yet in this Dreamleague. But if he gets that early Orchid on XM, suddenly this Morphling is threatened, right? We talked about the need for XM to open up this map for his PL. If the supports can rotate to mid, secure a good mid lane for XM, he gets the early Orchid, then they can blow the map wide open when they didn't have a means to before on Extreme Gaming.
I see it. I see the lines. I personally think that Storm will have so much pressure on him because DK will single-handedly take bottom tower, so I think Team Spirit's supports will have more room to help on the side of the mid lane, so I am concerned that he won't be able to do that job. I think that the game's going to be very snowbally in favor of Team Spirit, but if they lose control of the map even slightly with like 1 good rotation from the Storm, then I think Extreme will take it with just 1 good rotation.
Yeah, and he's got to worry about Searing Chains and some other mild disables, so there is some counterplay for sure, especially if they commit to a kill and they do like Shadow Demon Disruption to provide saves kind of thing. So, but if they get picked off across the map, it would be really scary for Team Spirit for sure.
So if previous game is anything to go off of, I mean, we saw both teams have good moments, and if this is another game where both teams have good moments and Extreme will win, is that what I'm hearing? Because I think we talked about this before. Team Spirit can win this one, but they have to execute it just a little bit sharper. Fair to say?
That's what I feel like, yeah.
I think Team Spirit's execution is actually a little bit easier than Extreme Gaming's in this one, but I really do think that this is going to depend on how well the mid lane is enabled in this game and how it's played around, because that's going to dictate this entire game for me.
I'm honestly heavily leaning towards Team Spirit for this game.
Heavily Team
Yeah,
Spirit.
like
even.
80-20.
Whoa, 80-20?
Yeah.
And then all of the back of Larl, Ember, or on the DK?
It's all 3 lanes. Like, I think the map's going to close off really quickly. All tier 1s are going to go down. Ember's going to get map control and not Storm.
All right, fast game for Team Spirit, and that means we get a game 3, which I think everybody would be happy with. Let's find out what's going to happen together with Sunspan and Cinderin.
Prepare for battle.
Game number 2 between Extreme and Team Spirit. Sunspan here with Cinderin. What's up, y'all? Shout out to you guys, except for that one guy.
Yeah, hate that one guy.
You suck ass.
Yeah.
But you know who doesn't suck ass? These two teams. That was some high execution plays in that last game.
Yep.
It delivered in every single facet it felt like an Extreme Gaming came out on top in that game number 1. Do you think, as we see an early D ward again from Team Spirit, this time in the mid lane,
Yep.
think that Spirit have, I think BSJ said 80-20. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I would definitely not make it that lopsided, but I think they have a much better chance than the previous game, just in terms of overall like macro in this game. I think they have better tools. I think Yatoro's carry matchup is better here, despite, I mean, the carry to carry matchup perhaps not the best against PL. I guess the rest of the strategy that XM are showing here can definitely do better. 3 bounties here for Spirit, nice start. 3 bounties plus D ward. Happy to see that if you're Spirit. So I definitely think the conditions are better, and that means if we get to a similar mid-game state as the previous game, I do like Spirit's chances quite a lot. And everything the panel said, I think, is just spot on. I think Storm is the hero to watch for this game. He's going to be either the reason XG win or the reason they lose.
Wow, really?
That's going to be telling within 20 minutes whether he has done the job that he has to really get them to that position they need to be in.
Okay, so how's this matchup? Spirit Brother versus Spirit Brother. Has it changed much?
It's pretty even.
Memory?
You know, you pop Flame Guard, you get some CS. Storm farms it back with the Remnant the other way, and both players are very competent at their specific heroes. These are 2 of their best for both of them. So I expect nothing too outstanding.
What about the pre-level 6 ganks in the mid lane? The supports from Spirit definitely have a little bit better lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, you can always get caught off guard by an arrow, but I don't know if
Not
we're
really
going
a
to...
setup for the mid lane, though.
Yeah, you have Vortex into arrow, which is cute, but not that easy to do. You also need to skill Vortex for that to even happen. He might not skill that until level 7 or 8. So I don't know, honestly, if we're going to expect much rotation here. I think the lane is probably just going to be played. It's also a matter of, can the supports actually leave their respective cores in the side lanes alone? I think the Shadow Demon can definitely leave the DK alone against Phoenix PL. I think this is a very easy lane for Dragon Knight. In the bottom lane, I don't know if you can leave the Mars alone as much.
Well, knowing Jin Q, he will leave him. At
True.
some point. Not playing Monkey King this time, but does have a roaming type support that you can definitely... I mean, they do have the spear arrow setup in this specific lane, though, so we'll see.
Morph is very good against that, though. As long as you get your shift off, you can't die.
Yep.
Okay. Big harass from DY will force the TP out.
DY, second game in a row on the Phoenix. Had quite a good game. Game number 1.
He's been playing so much Maiden, right?
Radiant
Bit
barrier has
of
been
a change up here. I think he has the most
Ice to
games.
fire.
He's played 8 games of CM this tournament. Out of their first, what would that be, 14? So he played it 60% of their games. Fortunately for him, he did play Ench 60% of their games. That's why they're here.
Hey, we saw one win yesterday, I think, on the Ench, so
Yeah.
good for her. Starting to crawl back into the 25% win rate territory now. So far in the mid lane, as you alluded to, relatively even so far, a little bit in favor of XM, if anything. And I'm interested in the 6-minute power rune. What kind of rotations we're gonna see, if that leads to potential kill on one of these mid laners. Otherwise, they will just be chilling.
Yeah.
What about PL? What kind of a PL game is this? Not a hero we see We see it every now and then, but it's not a staple.
I think if he gets like to 4 or 5 items, I think he's very scary in this game. But he has a weak. I mean, the hero is not particularly popular. He has quite a weak build-up period. It takes a long time. I think the Dragon Knight does very well against him if he gets farmed, and the lane itself is also good. I think Ember does quite well against him. So I would say it's a better PL game than the previous one with the Troll game, but it's not. I would say Morphling generally in this game probably has better secondary matchups than the PL does. But the hero is always he's always special in the sense that at some point the critical mass just kicks in. But it's going to take a while. He's going to need a lot of items.
Who clicks faster?
Vortex.
Well, XM gets the Vortex off, but Mira coming in from the sideline.
Nice rotation.
XM is dead. Oh, no, Mira wants to take it for himself. Okay, screw Larl. Really wanted that.
I didn't want to take any risks there.
The first blood was the way of Team Spirit. A little bit slower pace than last game. We saw a ton of action with couriers. Mostly.
They opted not to pick the Monkey King despite it being available. Spirit dared them to do it again.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, this is Mira.
Okay. Has been killed.
He doesn't need Monkey King. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if they're just gonna give it again, maybe Jinkyu just wanted to play Dota.
Outplayed.
Like, do you think the impact that he had in that game? I'm not gonna say it didn't matter because it obviously had some impact, but. Like by the end of the game, everybody was just playing Dota again. Like how much impact can you have? Like I think the mid lane, probably the bottle was, it's just hard to gauge,
Yeah.
you know, how much difference it actually made.
I mean, I do think he did a lot of work after the couriers too, to be fair.
Exo Stomp, blood grenade onto XM, but the TP's coming in from Jinkyu. Actually leaps in to get some right clicks off with the Star Storm. Aposhka will survive though. Now Mira coming in.
A lot of
A casual
rotations,
shadow
luckily.
poison. Yeah, they got to stick around for 30 seconds now. This might just be a dual lane for that 6-minute power rune.
Yeah, I was talking about how I didn't expect too many rotations to come out, but both teams are really tripling down on this mid lane right now. Would have been a big kill for either side. Obviously, unlocking the level 6 on your mid laner first here can be massive. It's the biggest win in all of this lane swapping happening right now, or movement, is probably the PL though, who was kind of struggling up top. Ame is currently 6th on CS. The numbers are relatively close, but
Yeah, but 10 denies. 28 and 10 for Collapse.
Yeah.
Really good start.
PL is just not a good laner. Like, that's just how it is. If your matchup isn't very favored or your support doesn't offer a lot, then
Well, Mira takes the illusion rune, so no mid laner will snag them, but ends up dying for his troubles.
gets a refill on Larl from the Miposhka TP though, so he will be just fine on resources. Level 6 on both mid-ers.
And XM has level 6, as you just said.
Yep.
We'll be able to zip away.
Interestingly enough, Larl also has level 6 because they both have level 6, as I just said.
Yep, as you just said.
Yep.
Yeah, Ember has level 6 now, so has the mobility. You know, it is interesting when you look at the Spirit Brothers. 3 of the 4, their ults give them mobility, but Earth, he comes with mobility.
Right.
To get that level 1. Wonder what happened in that household.
Yeah, that's why he's the weak one.
Dire's middle tower
He didn't used
is
to be,
under
though.
attack.
Q will grab the Wisdom Rune, the opposite one, so just a trade, but Spirit, just a little bit of an advantage here in the laning stage, 1k for the time being, as Mapush has been all over the wards this series.
Yeah, very well prepared.
And he's one level higher than he was at this point last game.
It's one of the, I want to say, aspects of good game prep that maybe isn't talked about or appreciated enough is identifying warding patterns. Okay, he's probably dead here in Phoenix.
Yes, he
Dire's
is.
top tower is under
You can do a
attack.
lot of prep for a series if you identify specific exploits and how the enemy team prefers to place their vision. Everybody has a pattern. You can try your very best to be unpredictable, but there's always going to be something you do more than something else, whether that be spots you prefer to have vision or ways you move around the map a bit more than other players or whatever. So if you really do some deep analysis on these teams, which you do at this level, those little advantages Miposhka seems to really be finding here are going to miss. Or will get that top shield rune. Oh, okay.
So Searing Chains on XM, but as we mentioned, he is level 6, now 7. That's how it works typically.
Yep.
Able to zip away just fine. Collapse now pressuring the tier 1 tower with his first dragon form. Gets most of the HP down.
Has a very aggressive build on the DK. Goes to show how easy this lane is. He's 4-1-1. Only got 1 point in the dragon blood. But yeah, when you're this favored, you can just take the aggressive path. And
is under attack.
this is starting to look really, really good for Spirit. This is what I was saying they might do after game 1 was double down on solving or getting better lanes going and really building an early advantage.
Oh my. Lots of pressure towards Ame right now. Meanwhile, at the bot lane, XXS being killed off by Larl is XM. Lots of X's in this game. Will TP top to get the kill on the support Shadow Demon. So 1-for-1 favor still for Spirit, though.
Yeah, this is looking very good for them. Yatoro is completely free. They have top 3 net worths. They're getting this tower in a moment. And Extreme's lineup is just, that's just a fact. It's very level dependent, right? You don't have Arena yet. You don't have Supernova. Mirana's level 4. I guess the Arena is available to skill, but yeah, might need some help here. He just TP'd back.
Right? TP coming in. A lot more damage than that. Jin doing a nice job of dodging some spells. Spear coming in.
Dire's middle tower
Hitting the Ember, but Larl looking to finish the job on Jin, and he does so successfully.
Identifies that he's out of leaps. Nicely done.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now this tier 1 in peril.
This could snowball out of control really fast, actually. If they lose bot tower and top tower within the next minute, which seems very likely, the only real way back for Extreme if the game goes poorly in the first 20 minutes is finding some massive team fight where they combo all their spells, but Spirit have extremely nimble heroes. You've got Morph, you've got Ember, Dragon Knight's tanky, you have a save in Shadow Demon, you have a combo breaker in ET. It's a very difficult lineup to fight into if you're at disadvantage to begin with. And yeah, damage isn't exactly what they have in spades either. That's why the Storm is so important to get off the ground and get his Orchid, so he can do a lot on his own. And well, it hasn't been the start that I think Extreme were hoping for in that regard either. XM not ahead of the Ember currently. If he needs to start itemizing defensively on Storm, I think they're kind of doomed, actually. I think it's very important that he doesn't have to do that. So, because then damage is just going to be lacking. He is going the Orchid, of course, so...
But Yatoro's going first item Linken's. That will be essentially countered.
Yep. Gonna either be able to break the... I mean, you can still do the pull into Orchid, but it's likely going to at least react and get the shift off, and at that point, gonna die. This top tower's gone. I will delay it a little
Dragon
bit.
form, the CPTP's to another lane.
Hey, you can start poking mid, I wouldn't mind that.
Tower's given up, and there's the blink. That gives him the money. Collapse going for the fast initiation this time. We've seen a lot of Dragon Knights, obviously dependent on lane as well, but even the off lane sometimes opt not to go for the early blink.
Yep.
Just goes to show they want to be ultra aggressive.
Definitely is a good Mage Slayer game. It was worth considering. Damage mitigation against the Storm. You get the magic resist. It's good against Phoenix. Mars is a lot of magic damage when he's playing a game of this kind. So is Mirana. So I definitely think could consider it, but I don't mind just just frontline, get in their faces, set stuff up. Probably Spirit have a pretty good read that this game is going very, very well. So they keep the ball rolling. Power Rune will be top DY. We'll grab it before Larl. So unfortunately, 50-50 miss there for Spirit. Oh, what?
Okay, so Yatoro died.
Right.
Interesting. Must have been caught off guard with the attribute shift, I would imagine.
He must have speared into Arena while he was shifting.
Yeah.
So he couldn't toggle it.
As Jin will be surrounded and brought down. And the tier 1 tower is likely next, although XM is going to be forced to zip away, use some mana. Larl creating the space, so we're going to see.
Oh, he was
So he's shifting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there you go. Spear into Arena. Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a setback. I mean, he's still top net worth by a good margin, so...
They lost half their lead.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mid tower will be falling too, though. So, I mean, it's a bump in the road for Spirit, but they're still fine. Just can't let it happen too much. Obviously, that kill is absolutely huge for XXS, who's now overtaking Larl by a massive 5 net worth.
Wow.
closing in on Dagger
Radiant's
as well.
bottom tower is under attack.
I think the really telling part is about to come up now. Mars will get Dagger and Storm will get Orchid. And what are you going to be able to accomplish? You have to be able to put some pressure on the map. You have to buy space for your PL, who needs tons of recovery time. Ame's game has not been good. He's stuck in the jungle. We'll get some of the top lane as well, of course, but when you rush Ags on this hero, you just need time, right? It's almost always going to be the build. It's the fastest farming accelerator that you have. If you do get forced into fights, you have some sort of impact with the bouncing lance. It deals decent damage. So we've shied away from the original rushing diffusal almost every game on PL and then just getting somewhat involved to just taking, all right, we're farming.
Yeah, it's usually just diffusal, Manta, then you're fighting, right?
Yeah,
Now,
just not
a lot more of a build-up, especially since the Axe has changed. It used to be the Shard, basically. It's XM going on to Mira, who's going to self-disruption himself. He will end up dropping to the rebuke, but wow. Looks like Jinkyu gets spotted
That is
and
not a
brought down. The
supernova.
egg is not going to do anything.
Well, this time there.
Good attempt.
I don't know if the... Yeah.
So a bit of a miscue, but either way, just a support for support.
Extreme have really been on top of the runes recently, though. They're really making sure to bring the supports in there. That was another one that Larl didn't manage to grab. This time picked up by Jinkyu, I believe. He ended up dying, but cover the runes quite well. So Ami is getting the space that he needs for Extreme, but I still think Spirit are very comfortable. They're still getting farm on all of their cores. I think in terms of potential impact, both of their supports can have a massive impact on this game. Wonder what you buy on Shadow Demon. This one. You're obviously... He's got to go Glimmer first to protect himself against the Storm. Last game we saw his techies rush Lotus Orb, which I think would be a very good item this game as well. Maybe he gets both. Maybe he just goes Glimmer into...
Yeah, the Axe isn't particularly good this game. XXS getting picked off, it looks like.
Wow, that was impressive to miss the spear there. He really threaded the needle against those 4 heroes. Didn't matter, though.
It happens. Yeah, 3k lead for Spirit as they have all the tier 1 towers in their name so far.
Larl with the Kaisange. It's not a common first item pickup on this Ember Spirit. Or maybe I'm just a little bit out of date with the meta, out of touch.
With the recent buffs to those items, why not? DY, Dragon Tail, Larl with the Searing Chain. Okay. Mira really wants to extend this as much as he can. It actually makes it easier for DY to potentially get away. Double damage is spawned.
All right,
1.8k X damage.
Still see ya, but it was see ya later than expected. But they still got him. That was a bit of a miscue from Spirit, but doesn't really matter.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Lose a
under
bit of
attack.
time, that's all.
Now that Ame has his Aghanim Scepter, the farm will increase dramatically, but still not fight ready. Meanwhile, Spirit, they do want to fight.
They're too late for the tower defense, I think. Okay, the cliff, maybe.
Yep, XXS has his blink ready to go.
Very good position for Extreme here.
XM is going to pop the smoke, but he's going to get initiated on. There's the Mars Arena, but the Storm is already dead. Echo Stomp now upon XXS. He'll likely be the next to fall. As Larl showing off that damage rune.
Wow.
2 cores killed so quickly. As Team Spirit, their lead continues to grow. They're not done yet, apparently. Poor Jinkyu. They still remember his Monkey King game and really want to pummel him.
I really thought Extreme were going to get a better fight out of that if we can get a replay. Just look at the vision. Like, they have amazing wards. They have the high ground ops sentry here. They also have the ops off to the left. They have all the information in the world.
They were smoked and he zipped in, and that's when he saw 3.
Collapse is just too fast. Like, that stun came out instantly. He didn't get to zip again, and the fight's just over when Storm gets caught. We've covered it already. This hero has to have freedom in the fight, and Collapse had his number that time. So I don't blame Extreme for trying that one. I feel like when you have this good vision and you have the position that they did, this could have been promising, but man, were they ready. Now Orchid Collapse as well.
Tower
it is not easy to be a Storm now.
Yeah, they will spot Collapse, but there's silence as you talked about being shown. Starsmere already super low. The egg is placed. He's going to be able to zip, it looks like. The stun does come through from the egg. Yatoro coming in, absolutely deleting DY with the phylactery. Now XXS will follow suit. Another Orchid. Trying to get the melee Dragon Tail. There it is. Down goes the third member of Extreme, as this game is now a shellacking. Spirit in a huge lead as they will now group up and likely take some more towers. XM trying to rush that BKB now, but it's already cost them so much, these Orchids.
And this has been a very uncharacteristically quiet game from Jinkyu. I feel like I've barely seen him hit an arrow. I think every time he throws them out, they get dodged or he just flat out misses the angle. That was the case there again. And Spirit were advanced up in basically a straight line, but he still didn't manage to connect it, and they just clean house. The Orchid from Dragon Knight's been very great in that situation. 7k the lead. I don't think they're getting out of this one. Nice timing on the stomp.
Yep, DY dead again. Definitely not the same kind of game this time around from the supports of Extreme as their bottom 2 net worth. Collapse. Oh boy. Get counter silence, so that'll give the TP out.
Ah, new meta. The Dragon Knight blink Orchiding and then not stunning, getting Orchided back, and then you just TP out. What a situation that was. Yeah, it's hard to see a path back for Extreme into this. I was giving 20 minutes as my marker for when this game would largely be in either team's control, and looks like Spirit have done a great job.
Man,
my goodness.
Hey, look at how far away they can play from.
Yeah. I mean, ET Ember is such an awesome combo. I love these two heroes together. They set each other up so well. You get slight chains, you're guaranteed to get the ET combo off. If the ET somehow lands a stomp, he can place his Spirit there, and you get the full Spirit bomb burst out of the Ember. So just playing really great together, these two heroes. And we haven't really talked too much about ET's aura this game. Just has awesome friends. It's great for Morph as well to have the ET Spirit on the enemy team. Dragon Knight does a decent amount of magic damage too. All of these amplifications really add up. And the man on your screens now, I feel like, this guy is the only hope for Extreme Gaming. Ame has to somehow come online.
Right, I'm just going to say this now. When is the last time you've seen a PL just hard carry the game? I feel like this is a hero. If you're alone, essentially, because this Storm Spirit is not a thing right now.
Yeah.
I feel like this hero can't carry late game. You know what I mean? Not the same way like some of these other carries can.
I think it definitely can, but I think it's one of the worst carries at playing from behind. So that's concerning. Like, you don't offer very much in the fights right now. As we said, eventually you're going to hit some sort of a breaking point where you can perhaps overwhelm certain heroes in this game, but you're so far off that.
Moonlight Shadow, they're going to try to fight without their Storm Spirit. There's the Arena from XXS. Be able to get these two supports from Spirit, it looks like. The Echo Stomp comes through. And Ame will finish the job on Poshka. The rest of the cores get out.
Cool play. Spirit were not expecting this, clearly. They were just not ready. They wanted to try and steal the Tormentor, it looked like, but Extreme had that on lock. They also wanted to protect the 21-minute Wisdom Rune.
DY, all right.
Okay.
The sacrifices must be made in Dota sometimes. Jinkyu will get a bottom 25 shard. He gets tipped galore.
Nice needle there from Jinkyu tipping him as well. That's very good.
The funny thing is he had plenty of time to run away.
Yeah, I think they just...
And he was thinking about it, he's like, I don't care anymore. Too much effort.
To be fair, the time he spent, he's going to respawn in 10 seconds. He would have had to walk back to Fountain.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he doesn't have to do that. He has Tranquils, so probably would have been wiser to just back off to the side. But, you know, he's wiping his tears with his Philosopher's Stone. I'm sure it's fine.
That's true. That's always feels good.
Didn't Spirit just have a 12k lead? Did they cut 4k into that with that one fight?
Did they have a 12k lead?
They killed 2 supports, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Tormentor is worth a bit, but...
Stupendous!
Wow, okay. That's a 5k swing.
But Team Spirit into the Roach Pit they go. First Aegis will be in their name. Yatoro will take the Aegis.
Yeah.
And he has a full Conda now, going for the BKB next.
Oh yeah, it's Morphin time.
Adaptive Strike will hurt quite a bit. Especially with full agi.
He can probably one-shot combo Mirana and Phoenix, I think. I don't know if he can one-shot combo the Storm. It might even be close, to be honest.
Well, there's the Orchid again. Her collapse. This thing has really been paying off for him. We're going to start seeing more Orchids. Effie was talking about this item being underrated.
It's really good.
You think we're going to be seeing it more often on like off
Dire's
laners?
bottom tower is under
I think I
attack.
don't understand why it got buffed,
Radiant's
actually.
middle tower is under attack.
I would expect us to see the item more in general, but yeah, considering how other items got nerfed and that got buffed, it's just like by comparison, the item's just so much better. It's a bit surprising. Finally, XM will pick up his BKB. It's been a long 23
Dire's
minutes waiting for
bottom
that, so
tower
now he
is
can
under
probably
attack.
play his hero a little bit more. Maybe faster than average, but that's just because he's buying its second item. He has to get it. The game is unplayable for him.
Dire's middle tower
The man on the screens right now, for me, man of the match, Larl has really been owning it up this one. He's completely all over them. 9-0 and 7. He went Kai Assange into Radiant. Great item build against the PL. Light Shadow.
Yeah.
Jinkyu.
They see that blue particle
Probably.
come out of the mouth of Jin Q's mount. Sagan, I believe, is the name.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wonder if you can see that. That actually does give away your leap a little bit, doesn't it?
If
If they see if they're chasing you in the fog or something, I wonder if they can see the blue particle because of the shard.
yeah.
What do you think of that shard anyway? Who was I talking to yesterday? Purge, probably?
Dire's top
About
tower
how good the
is under
Mirana shard
attack.
is. I said bottom 25.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of the best ones.
It gives extra
it's
leap,
been
which is
buffed.
fine.
Courier has
Yeah.
been killed.
But the thing is, like, on average,
Radiant's
shards are
courier has been
incredible.
killed.
Like, on
Yeah.
average. So this has to be one of the more underwhelming ones.
If Mirana had a really good shard, she would probably be first pick.
Dire's top tower
Think so?
is under
Yeah, I mean,
attack.
considering her win rate in this tournament is really good, and she's being picked like second phase a lot of the time by teams. If her shard was good to boot, you're guaranteed to get it
Dire's top
relatively
tower
early because
has
you're a
fallen.
support. I think
Radiant's
I
bottom
say
tower
guaranteed,
is under attack.
not tech. It's quite good. Honestly, Extreme are weathering the storm quite well here. I'm very impressed. I didn't think they were going to be able to stabilize this game at the 6K lead, but now the biggest challenge is coming. Spirit are knocking on the front door.
Yeah, there's the spear initiation, but collapse with the counter initiation on Mars with the Dragon. XM takes forced to use his BKB. XM going deep with the BKB as well. There's the Mars Arena doing so much to contain this lineup from Spirit. They lose Mira to start things out. So no more save for Yatoro, was full agi there for a moment. Turns into the PL. Doppelganger back into the farm. So not ready to push quite yet, potentially.
They should have definitely been able to get the Aegis there, just missed the arrow. Maybe he was too far away on the spear combo to chain the arrow to him, but they do still defend. They get the support kill and they stall, which is good enough. So you burned your big ults. If Spirit could have somehow just re-engaged into the high ground, this would have been pretty bad. I'm actually a bit surprised they're not trying to poke this a little bit more. No arena, no supernova is quite crucial.
Dire's
We'll just
middle tower
settle
is
for
under
mid-tier
attack.
2 as it looks. Toro will be grabbing this. They just need an arrow
Dire's middle tower
on the siege
has
screen.
fallen.
Toro is huge. The gap to the PL is smaller and smaller.
Yeah, Ame is definitely firing. We'll see if he's able to do it because XM has dropped off a bit thanks to a few of these deaths. XXS
no
was
BKB.
Steering chains.
He kind of walked out into the open and then TP'd. I don't know if he was trying to next level Larl on a remnant dodge or something, but
Yatoro is a phoenix. He gets arrowed while attribute shifting, by the way. This might be the death of the Aegis. No, they just don't have damage yet.
okay.
Ame coming in with the morph. Will form away. So still 32 seconds on the Aegis. See if Extreme can time this. As the tower hasn't really taken that much damage yet.
They have Glyph too.
Dire's structures are
There
falling.
it is.
Burn it.
They forced it out with the instant Dragon Tail. They find Jinkyu in the trees. He has had zero impact on this game, I feel like. Unlike game number 1. Yatoro will likely back off here in just a moment as the Aegis will be consumed. Drill. Wait for the last second here.
Yeah, they're going to respect the Mars respawn. I think this is a good call. That combined with the timing of the Aegis expiring will end this play. Spirit not really gaining much. Like, they get this support kill on the Mirana, don't even manage to take the tier 3. So effectively, at a crucial time in the game where PL is still in the build-up phase, they don't get a lane. And Ame will be approaching a heart rather rapidly here, probably only 2 minutes away from it, maybe 3. This PL is going to start being a problem because I don't know if Collapse's... I guess Collapse's build eventually will deal with PL. Dragon Knight is one of the cores as an offlaner that can do the most to PL by just having a lot of raw AoE damage with the splash, but you went for the Orchid, that doesn't really do much against PL. You have the Manta, so now you need the Axe, and then you need some sort of damage item, right? Like Daedalus, maybe AC. Quite a ways to cover for him, but yeah, I genuinely thought these last 10 minutes would have gone a lot worse for Extremes. Like they can be rather hopeful in getting to that critical mass for Ame they're hoping for.
They still need that second core to step up, though.
Yeah, XM's game has not been great.
A full 3K behind it. Offlane DK, just to give you an idea. An 8K lead for Spirit, but yeah, you're right. It just doesn't really feel like it. I mean, with a lead that gigantic, even though that was the first Aegis, it's not, a lot of times it does end up being a tier 4 tower. But they weren't even able to secure that, so see if they want to wait for this next Roche or not.
It's also always going to be a matter of the potential of what can happen, right? This Dire lineup has wombo combo potential with Mars Phoenix and the Storm Ags eventually. So I by no means are Spirit on a timer. I think they can win this game also minute 80 if we were to go that late, but it's definitely a matter of, I think these previous 10 minutes could have been where they could have kind of sealed the deal. Now Extreme give themselves the opportunity to find an open.
Oh my god, okay, Dragontail on illusion, thinking it was real. Now he's spotted.
Well, they're gonna scatter the hell out of there in Extreme. They're not interested.
Yep, still 40 seconds before we know when Roche is up. I think the Dragon form has been used, but not able to really capitalize here.
Jinkyu barely getting out here. Didn't manage to get to the Wisdom Rune.
What, did that spot him?
Stupendous!
Success. What are you doing here, buddy?
Yeah, I don't really know what he's hoping for. There's no teammates nearby. Does he want to cut the next wave?
He's just going to wait for the next Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, well,
at 35.
Okay. At least he's clapping for himself. That's good. Cheering.
Big item picked up from XM, though.
What do you call that when a warrior slams their shield with the...
What the heck?
This? Like, what's this called? What do you call that? I think there's an actual specific word for that.
We can chat GPT that later. As the heart is now online for Ame. Aligns with the Ags on XM, which
this is a big timing.
The craziest Ags in the game. Yeah, one fight and they're back in this for sure.
It's quite crazy how the win expectancy for this game has dropped from 89 to 79 in the last 2 minutes with nothing happening, right?
Yeah.
It goes to show how important these item timings that Extreme are getting can turn out to be.
Roche is not up for quite a while. Bit of a long spawn. But this might turn into a fight anyway. These Roche-offs are always fascinating. Because like most of the smokes in the game revolve around these Roche plays.
Yep. Extreme in a very good position here off on the left. Far for the course on the arrow.
Radiant's bottom
they
tower
scan.
is under attack.
Larl.
Larl gets the searing, chains onto a couple. He's trying to get the D ward. He's going to get pinned to a tree instead.
Has the Bloodstone running. He's taking a lot of damage.
He is. He's very cocky here. Has the Radiance Bloodstone build.
Use our favorite ability, Demonic Cleanse, on him.
All right, that's very good this game.
Yep. Sure is.
Extreme will smoke again. Larl with a remnant for safety. He's still leading the charge.
Yeah, he's very much trusting.
Jinkyu will spot it. The Yules is there. Arrow again, not gonna hit. Collapse still that Dragon from Ame. What's leading the charge initially is there's the arena. It's onto 2 heroes. XXS. They don't do that much damage. It looks like Ame is the one that gets taken out first. So 70 seconds of no PL. And Extreme's fight is likely over. As Yatoro and company going to be surrounding XXS. So 2 cores, 1 support dead, and Spirit don't really lose anything.
Yeah, not enough damage in the tank. PL needs 6 items. He died so fast. Like, if he gets isolated by the Morphling, this is not a fair fight. Morph has stupid single target damage against the PL. The reason PL usually is a good matchup against the Morph is because Morph will not be able to identify the right target, but in that instance, it got very easy for Yatoro to just absolutely trash him. I don't know if there was also an ET aura at play there. I think there was, because he died so fast. But yeah, as you pointed out as well, the arrow missing once again. Like Jin-Q, considering the lineup that they're running, they're just not setting up the arrows quite well. Like they have spears, they have the storm remnant, or sorry, the storm vortex. I don't know if he's overly concerned about the Shadow Demon or if he's just like trying to fish to force out the disruption so that they can then go. I don't know what the mindset is, but definitely not working right now with those connections, and it's a big win for Spirit. That will be the Roche for them.
His Collapse has his Ags.
Yep, they did a ton of damage to him, but not quite enough. He's so tanky on that DK.
Yeah. Despite all the nerfs, this Aghanim Scepter over time is still very strong. Yatoro with another Aegis. And of course, Banner. See how they use it this time.
Yep. He gave it to Miposhka. Your problem now, buddy.
That's right. Well,
wait,
Miposhka,
where is it?
What, that was a scan.
Didn't he give it to Miposhka? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, I gave it to Mira. Okay, I thought I saw him give it to ET and then ET didn't have it.
Oh, Banner has been planted.
Yep. All right.
In the mid lane again.
Mid tier 2. He's smarter than Yatoro. He puts it closer to the wave, so it has more time.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
I feel like we're never going to stop talking about it until it gets changed. Every game.
More incentive, so Val doesn't have to hear this.
That's true.
Garbage again.
All right, that's a very fast Tormentor.
Miposhka
will get the shard, not the best.
2 games in a row we've seen that. I don't think we've even seen it used, though.
No.
Wait, it does lower the cooldown, I think, of Echo Stomp.
Like we talked about previously with this situation, is that you have lower cooldown on Stomp, but you don't have lower cooldown on the Spirit. So if you can't go in there anyway, that change kind of does nothing anyway.
Yeah, that's also an underwhelming shard, I would say. Unless you're playing core.
It's good on core, yeah. Which we see once in a blue moon as a counter to Meepo. You want to grab a wisdom here. All right, let's see if Spirit can break through this time. Still not fully convinced that this one is in the bag, despite all the advantages. They are relatively cautious about their high grounding, but now finally Yatoro will get started. The Dragon Knight Mantas are running out, but the real one is still intact with the form.
Oh, arrow hits a creep, so he hits something this time at least. Yatoro already at half HP, still has the Aegis for 3 minutes.
Okay.
Focusing on the PL already. He's super low, brought down again. Ame has not been able to have much impact on these fights, and Yatoro now cleaning up. XXS is next, will buy back instantly as the Aegis does go down, so life number 1 for Yatoro.
What an absolutely sick play call. There's no way they're ready for that. He literally just waveformed into 5 heroes and killed the PL with the ET Spirit. Wow, Ame got completely caught off guard. I think he might just be in love again. That was... Holy.
Tier carry.
Yeah, that was actually just flat out sick. Wow. That's probably just ending the game right there.
Yeah, I would think so. This lead is now ballooned to 18k. It's going to be, in all likelihood, at least 2 sets of racks.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Without the Aegis, see if they want to extend this to try to force the issue, but so many teams we've seen have backed off and reset a bit.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Extreme making the right call, just conceding it.
Oh, DY.
Oh.
Honda Gamers right here. Collapse. Focusing on XXS. He does not have buybacks. He has to be careful. XM gets a nice stun onto 2 with that Aghanim Scepter, but XXX is super low and finally will drop to Mira of all heroes. Larl in very deep. And now the focus again to get these megas for Collapse and company. DY falls yet again, so 2 down for Extreme. No way to get back in this. One more last-ditch effort from XM, but still Yatoro is super healthy as the ET ult actually doing so much damage in that fountain. But the megas will come the way of Team Spirit, and looks like we're going to be going to game 3 here relatively shortly. Extreme not giving up quite yet. They're waiting for Jin-Q to hit the first arrow probably, then they'll call GG. There it is on the siege creep. And tier 4 is getting pretty low. Collapse having to reset now that the dragon form is down. Spirit still sticking around. They want to finish this. Yatoro and Larl will focus on the tier 4s, which aren't even being defended anymore because Collapse is creating a lot of pressure as XM is insta-gived. Let's have the buyback available though. Looks like they'll have one last-ditch effort here once the Phoenix is up.
They have to just burst them more. It's the only play there is.
Ancient fully exposed now. Spirit with Mega Creeps, 29k lead. No banner though, so no Gaben Creeps sadly. And inside, the Ancient is collapsed. As somehow the GGs have not come out yet for whatever reason, we'll never know. And then there's gonna put some garbage spells out. XM coming in. Electric Vortex, Storm will die along with the Ancient. GGs do come out now that they remember that that is a thing you can do. As Spirit, they spank Extreme in this game too.
Wow, if they played